thank you all for being here. And for us, this session is very important. It's an important step, first, in ensuring that we are all aligned and confident in our roles as mentors, because today Kate is going to guide us through the content of the handbooks, at least briefly, also providing us with any clarity or addressing any questions that you have had now along the way. So it's an important call because we also take some time to explore our own level of confidence and really, like, you know, setting the step and pace in our roles as mentors, so we can identify if there are any areas or if there are any additional supports that might be helpful. And I would like to then now take this opportunity to welcome you and have you feel so free to share openly in this call or in this space. And then we are here to all support each other, so don't feel any sort of a way. And yeah, lastly, I would maybe say let's make the most out of this session and set ourselves up for success. So before I hand it over to Kate, actually I should hand it over to Kate. And we all then now get to say a word or two, and then Kate takes on from there. So back to you, Kate, but that's all I had to say at the moment. Thank you very much. And then we can all introduce ourselves and like our roles in the meantime, and what the weather is like where we are at. In Dar es Salaam, it's very hot and humid, 32 degrees of centigrade, and the humidity is over 58%. All right, back to you. I will hand it over to Kate.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Klaus. Thank you, Niklaus. It's really great to see so many people here today. Thank you all for making the time and for this important work that we are doing together. So let's do a quick round of introductions, as Klaus suggested. My name is Kate. I have the really fun and important role of being a trainer and a mentor on this project, as well as co-creating the curriculums and the booklets that I hope you have all received and had a look at by now. Some of you already know me from the trainings, and I am in South Africa in the beautiful garden route. And today we have a beautiful summer sunny day. It's a very comfortable 24 degrees. Yesterday we had rain and like 11 degrees. So we are experiencing many seasons in one day, in a short space of time. And I'm going to pass to Fabunmi.
Okay, thank you, Kate. I am Fabunmi Ayola, the mentor in Nigeria, and I'm happy to be here. I want to learn more. I don't know, it's kind of hot here in Nigeria. It's a bit hot, but the weather in Lagos is humid, and I hope to learn more. I have been trying to go through the toolkit that was sent, and I hope to get more clarification on that, and hopefully have more understanding, and then we can ask questions. But maybe I may most likely be typing in because I'm taking the minutes for today's meeting. Thank you. So I'm going to hand over to Francis Donasinayo. I hope I'm right. Your mic is off.
Sorry, I couldn't notice. I'm Francis Donasiano. I'm the mentor here in Malawi with Community Focus Organization. I've just been added to the forum today, but I'm already excited to join you guys. The notification for the meeting just came some 5 minutes ago, but I couldn't afford to miss it. So I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to interacting with you guys, learning a lot, and make some difference in Africa, and of course here in Malawi. Thank you. And let me pass it to Financial Officer, ICYE.
Thank you, Francis. Thank you. So my name is Katja. I can unfortunately not change my my name in this Teams chat. So you can remember it, or I put it in the chat because most of you, we don't know each other. I am working in Berlin in the ICYE International Office, and I'm working together with Nicholas on the organizational part of this project. and I couldn't be in South Africa with you to meet all of you and to like join the training. So I'm happy to listen in this session today to get to know a bit more about the handbook or the two handbooks. And I'm in Berlin. It is very cold and gray. It's like, I think 3 degrees today. And it's very hard to get up in the mornings, I notice, because it just doesn't, yeah, it just stays gray. And I think my windows are also dirty, so it's even darker in my room. But it's getting better. We're on an uprising path. Thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to today's session, and I'm passing it on to Melanie.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I'm not able to open my camera right now, but I want to greet everyone. And I'm fine. We are fine in Mozambique for today. The past 3 days have been kind of hard, and the president that the people actually we do not want him in power took over the power yesterday. So it's a bit of a tension, and we are afraid about with what is going to happen the next days. But for now, we are fine, and me and my family are safe by the grace of God. And I'm pretty excited for today. It has been really, really hot in Mozambique, but today the weather is really, really good, surprisingly, even though we are in the season of summer, and it's quite usual to get really high weather, high temperatures. But for now we are fine, and I'm pretty excited for today. And I want to thank everyone who's been sending warm hugs for me, my family, and my colleagues as well, because of the tension that we are facing right now. And this tension has also disturbed some of the work that we wish to do. So we are hoping that the situation will be better the next day so we can work, because at some point to meet and stuff like that, we need to get out of the house, and at some point we are not able to do so. So yes, a lot of things are a bit of messed up because of this, but we are hoping that the situation will get better the next day so we can push. Thank you so much, and I'll pass it to Francis.
Do we have any Francis apart from me? Otherwise, I already made my introduction. Any other Francis apart from me?
I guess that would be Alid. Alid, can you be the other Francis? If Alid is not ready, someone else who is ready, we can.
I think let me chip in. Thank you all. My name is Abdallah. Sometimes if you find difficult to save time when they need to say Abdi, ABDI, it's okay. I'm from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. I think I am a mentor, and I'm very happy to join this team. I'm ready to connect and the network with everybody in this group. I think it's an interesting group to find that people with a different background. I think it's very interesting. I can't wait to hear it all by the time of changing knowledge and ideas. Currently, I'm Dar es Salaam. As I've said before, the weather is not different from what Nicholas has said. It's too sunny, hot, and it's a lot of sweating. So thank you all, and I would like to pass this. I don't know, Ali, Melanie, who else?
I can see there's Ian.
Keen.
Oh, there's Keen, which is Joseph.
Yeah, back to you, Keen.
Okay. It's Joseph. I'm one of the mentors from South Africa. I'd like to greet you all. Compliments of the new year. And for me, I'm really excited for the meeting and for the launch that's coming up. And the weather in Pretoria is 30 degrees. It's not too bad. You can't really complain here. So I'll pass it on to Bella.
Hello everyone, I hope you're guys today. I'm not very good, but I'm here to learn a lot of share some of the things that we have done. The weather here in Mozambique is that today is good. Yes, I hope you guys are doing good.
Thank you, Bella. And I think a special thanks to Mel and Bella for joining from Mozambique, considering the challenges that they are facing at the moment, politically and socially, the repercussions of the politics. So I'm just going to select to pass to Ian. Ian, can you hear us?
Hello, guys. A compliment of the new season to you. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I was saying compliment of the new season to you all, guys. My name is Ian from Zimbabwe. I'm a mentor. And currently I'm in Tanzania, Dodoma. It's a beautiful sunny day today with 29 degrees, and I'm really loving it. So yeah, I'm also excited for today's meeting and the upcoming launch.
Okay, so I'm going to select Adelu. Can you hear us? How are you, Adelu?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, I'm not able to put on the video. I don't know. It happens anytime I'm using this team on my laptop. It's always blocking the camera. So my name is Adeolu. I work with ICY in Nigeria. I'm the coordinator in Nigeria for this project. It's nice seeing most of you again. For those that we've met or we had the opportunity to do some activities physically and virtually. And for those coming around for the first time, I think it's my pleasure to also meet with you. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Like Fabumi said, it's 32 degrees here in Lagos. We have a permanent summer around here. So I think it's going to be exciting. We've all been looking forward to the start of this program and the kickoff by the end of the month. And I think we're all excited. I want to welcome all of you and appreciate Kate for the coordination, and also Nicholas, the coordination since the beginning of this project. I think I have to pass on to, is it Coinsola there now? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's lovely to see you guys again. I think my first meeting was the last meeting that was held, and then it was a warm introduction. So I'm just excited to see how this meeting goes and how we can make progress today. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to pass to Agatha.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Can you all hear me? Okay. I'm also a mentor from Zimbabwe, and right now the weather is a bit confusing. In the morning it was so sunny, and now it's raining. So I'm looking forward to this meeting and to hear all we are going to come up with. And I'm so happy to have been meeting everyone in good health and smiling. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's pass to Dina.
Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year. Actually, it's Bridget Daniel from Malawi, and the weather here is very hot. This week it has been very hot, close to 30-something degrees. But I'm glad that I'm also here to meet you guys. And I think I just have challenge for the difficult here, but then I think I'll keep on following. So yeah, I'm really excited to attend this meeting again, and also happy for the launch of the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. It's good to see you. I want to pass to community forum. Wait, I can't see the names properly.
Joshua, your microphone is muted. We can't hear you, but we can see you. So happy. So if you can unmute your mic and then we can share the excitement together, that would be very, very nice.
Hello.
Hello, now we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you so much. I'm Joshua Malunga, the project coordinator for Live X project in Malawi. I'm facing the same situation with Katia to change the name. So that's why you see the full name of like this. Yeah, so I'm happy to have you all today, the new year of 2025. And I'm excited as well to to learn more about the handbook, Mentors Handbook, on how we can deliver it in our respective countries. And I'm also excited to learn more on how we can launch the program very soon on 28th January. So we are here as a team to share the experience, to guide each other. And yeah, as my colleague already said, it's like Zimbabwe and Tanzania. Malawi is as well very hot. At the moment is 34 degrees Celsius, especially the area where we are. It's 34 degrees Celsius, but sometimes we reach up to 45 degrees Celsius. So thank you so much. Let me pass on to Julieta.
Thank you, Joshua. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you and to meet you all with the mentors. We never met, I think. So I am Julieta. Originally, I am from Argentina. Now I am living in Hungary. We have only 1 degree here. So if you can send some temperature from your countries, that would be great. Because only 1 degree and super cloudy. So yeah, it's in the middle of the winter. But I'm very happy that you have such a nice weather at home. Yeah. So I'm very curious about this, about the handbook, about what are you going to learn and what are we going to develop with the mentors and with the rest of the exchanges. So looking forward to this meeting. Thank you. I don't know, someone has not presented already. I see Inyanya is possible. I don't know if Inyanya is with us.
Usually that's Mercy from Kenya. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Mercy, can you hear us? Okay, so maybe thank you, Julieta. I think what I'll do, if there's anybody else that hasn't checked in that wants to say hello, I'll just give a minute now to see. I can't see the other participants. Otherwise, okay. So I think I'm going to get started. As I said, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. I'm really hoping that this is going to be a useful session. And I think I just want to jump in by introducing the toolkit. So some of you were at the training in Pretoria. Most of you that were there are here, which is so nice to see. And then there's some new mentors that have joined us. And some of you as early as I think today, and this is only your second meeting. So I'm hoping that you've all had a chance to look at the toolkits that Klaus sent out. And this session, the intention is just to introduce them, talk through them, and also answer questions. So you're very welcome to ask some questions at the end of the presentation. Or if you're concerned that you'll forget your question, you can type your question into the chat and I'll answer it as soon as I can without disrupting the flow. I've just noticed that we have a message in the chat from Alit saying, we're happy to see all of you. The weather is dry and hot here, but we are good. And there's also a message from Inyanya, which is Mercy saying, apologies from Mpo. She's having challenges with the Teams mobile app. Okay, so Mpo is another mentor from South Africa. But it's great to know that we're recording this for anyone that misses it. They'll be able to catch up and see this. Okay, so before we start, I'm just going to invite everybody. We've been in this call already for 30 minutes. So let's just take a moment to reconnect to our bodies because we do this work for our greater earth body, and so much of our online work we forget to take care of ourselves in with all this screen time. And I've just traveled to Malawi and Mozambique and Berlin and Tanzania, and I'm feeling quite already full with information and images. So let's just take a moment. Maybe if you are in a comfortable position, you can feel your feet on the ground where you are. You can rest your hands on your lap or on your desk in front of you if you are sitting at a desk. And if you feel comfortable, just close your eyes and take a moment to reconnect with yourself. You can take a deep breath in and breathing out. Just notice your posture. How's your neck feeling? Are you sitting with your head bowed down looking at a screen? Do you need to twist it out of it? Do you need some movement? Yeah, just give yourself that moment to move. Yeah. And you can take another deep breath in if you need to. Okay. Thanks, everyone, all this online time. So without further ado, you can open your eyes. Oh, nice. I can see Ali Nasud. Hello. There, I see your screen is on. That's exciting. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and jump straight into these two toolkits. So at the training in Pretoria, we had a first draft of the toolkit, which we didn't change very much. We just added to and reorganized a bit. So we were hoping that the flow would make more sense. Thank you, all of you, for your feedback that you gave us on that. It was very, very helpful. And I just need to also acknowledge the graphic designers, the work that they did. They worked so hard and also to a very tight deadline. I'll confess that we handed in the content a little bit late, and so the graphic designers were under a lot of pressure to produce this document, and I just think it's very beautiful as well, which is always nice when we're working with something like this. So yeah, many people have put in work, and I believe that the translation is going to take place soon as well. So I'm really hoping that everything's going to flow and be supportive, and that these toolkits will help people out of this project as well. You're welcome to share them. You're welcome to use them in other projects. That's what they are intended for. So let me start by sharing my screen, finding the right window to share. This one. Okay, so are you all able to see my screen? Can I get a yes? Because now when I share my screen, I can't see anyone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So the first book that we've sent out, the first PDF, is the LiveX curriculum for youth workers, which is the book that is meant to be to help you as a mentor have a deeper understanding and a deeper pathway of where you want to take your mentees. So I think it's really important that I also say that all of the content of these booklets is intended to give you advice and to give you guidance, but it's not a recipe and it's not a rule book. So if there's anything along the process that you feel is not going to work with your groups or is not going to be flowing for you as the facilitator, you can take ownership of this process and adapt according to your context and to your audience and to your mentees and where they are in their activist pathway. So as you can see here, the suggested progression of the mentorship pathway is to start, of course, with your first session, which would be getting to know each other, just like we have done here. I think it's really important that we spend time connecting to each other, understanding what's important to each other, not just getting to know the names and the places of where people come from, but also what are their values, what's important to them, and why are they here in the cohort, and what are they expecting from you. And then important in the first session is to identify which causes and concerns are close to these people's hearts. So are you going to work on a joint concern together? Perhaps that will emerge from the session. Or is everybody holding different causes? So there might be someone working in schools that is concerned for the lack of recycling taking place or the rubbish on the playground, but there may be somebody else that's very concerned about water hygiene and the even maybe the rights to clean water that are taking place in their community. And all of those causes are relevant and important. And what I have found in mentoring experience is that the more we care about a cause and the more personal it is and close to our communities, the more long-lasting our actions will be when we work from that place of local and important to us. So it's really important to allow your mentees to choose the cause that they feel is important, even if it seems to you that it's something very small. encourage your mentees or the participants in your cohorts to really, really do something that feels relevant to them. So that's the first one. And then encouraging them to go deeper into that cause and questioning what's going on. That will lead you to your second session. So the second session, you really want to encourage your mentees to research and learn more about the cause, as well as learning how to share about their local cause. So this is about presenting it and summarizing it and explaining to people why this issue is important, so that they can share it in the cohort and feel comfortable to speak about it. So in your third session, hopefully you've had a chance in between sessions to understand the different causes that people are passionate about, and then you have a chance to do some research about the ecosystem understanding around that cause. So if someone's concerned about water, perhaps this booklet covers some information around water, and it also covers things around agroecology and permaculture practices. There's a large section on the soil manifesto. And then if you aren't familiar with the cause that your mentee is about, then it's important to ask the right questions. So guide them gently to understanding the ecological impact and the whole systemic cause that they are dealing with. It may be also social causes that are coming into play there. In session 4, we look at advocacy. So advocacy is about really trying to change policy, try to influence people, try to get more people onto our side. Education is a form of advocacy as well. So there's lots more information in the toolkit around that, and there's goes into a deep dive into what advocacy is, what it isn't, and how we can advocate for our causes. So what you're doing there is just guiding your mentees to understand what advocacy is and why it's so important in their action planning. And then in session 6, we talk about fundraising. And in that module, you'll see that there's different ideas on different styles of fundraising. And then I'll show you the other toolkits that's coming up. And then the last session, your 6th session with them, is about sustaining the activism. So when we go through this process, you kind of spiral around, and you want to then stay connected, create a network, and not just end your action after one activity. So you want to sustain it, you want to have your plan going forth, and you want to share about it, and perhaps hopefully connect with others that are involved in similar causes to you. So this is the general pathway that you are going to guide your mentees or your participants through. And we've mentioned this in the toolkit. That can look like sharing one full day at a school where you have these sessions are maybe 30 minutes each, and with time in between for breaks and for group works. Or you could do this over 6 different sessions over 6 weeks. You can do one session a week. How you design this is completely up to you, according to the time and the participants that you have. So we went through a similar pathway in Pretoria during the training, and a lot of what you'll see in the toolkits is what we covered in the training in Pretoria. Now I want to introduce to you the second booklet, which is the toolkit for youth. So this toolkit, can everybody see? This toolkit has, how do I explain this? This is the toolkit that is designed for you to share with your mentees. So this booklet can be shared as a PDF. You could also print it out. You could print it in grayscale, and it has interactive exercises in it. So this is a booklet that guides them on their activist journey. And it's your role as the mentor to support them to get to each step of the process, and to guide them along, and to give input, give advice, give feedback, offer deep listening, and support them as they go into planning and implementing their Earth actions. So there are a lot of things that are similar. Of course, we start with identifying a cause, but in the toolkit for Earth activists, we don't go into detail about facilitation tools. So this booklet is meant to be more simple, and it doesn't have the deep dive into the values of a mentor and the other exercises that you'll find in the youth worker handbook. But the process that they are on is similar, and it's important that you are familiar with this process as well and with this booklet. You can use it as a step-by-step guide and work through the book with them. So we start by identifying a cause, of course, like what is close to their hearts. There are suggestions for how to do this in the other toolkit, in the youth worker handbook. You can do some deep questioning. You can ask what concerns them about the world today. You can ask what they care about today in the world. And then the second one, the same as in the youth worker book, is we want to research and we want to communicate about that cause. We want to learn to speak about it and share information about it so that we can then plan an action around it. Then there's this very beautiful action planning, which we start off with the flower. I'm sure you're all familiar with this now. And then we take a deeper dive into an Obredimet design tool. And again, those design tools, they're suggestions. If you have a design tool that you like to work with that you feel is more appropriate, you're welcome to use it. And then part of planning the action, it's very important. There's a fundraising section, and you can help them, guide them through a budget, you know, how to communicate their plan, how to fund for it, how to find their allies. This is the advocacy part. So how to find different people that can support this project, and how to convince those that are not interested or perhaps not affected by this or not as concerned as they should be, how to get those people to join your movement or to support your action as well. And then, of course, you're guiding them to actually implementing an action. And that can be as simple as planting a tree. It can be as simple as running a workshop in a school for environmental awareness, biodiversity promotion, and then you all come together and plant a tree, or a small backyard garden. You maybe do a cleanup where you separate waste. Yeah, there's so many options there. And then guiding them to their next steps, which is to review and feedback on how their action was. So you, as a mentor, want to be present with them throughout this process. So I'm going to pause for a moment and see if I have any questions. Just stop sharing my screen so that I can see everyone again. Okay, great. So are there any questions about the pathways and how they overlap each other, and the role of the mentor and the role of the mentee? You can just speak out or raise your hand if you want to ask a question. Yes, Fabunmi.
Okay, thank you. I think I just want to have a clear understanding of what we should really tell them to do, because I posted some pictures on the WhatsApp group this morning. We already had like a physical meeting in December with the group, so I was able to use, I was trained by Nicholas and I think Anya. They helped me because I could not come for the training in South Africa. And with the handbook that was, I think the reports from South Africa, I was able to, use that with my assistant mentor, and we had this training. So for us, we already have like 3 groups, and we asked them to start working on what they decided, we gave them time during this training, and I know they have started working on it. So what I just want to know is, okay, now I know that we also have to support them in fundraising. That we do really. So I want to know if when they decide, when the final, because I asked them to start working on it, that after the first meeting at the end of January, then they can go all out and start working. So aside also guiding them to raise funds, I want to know if there's any support for them from this project, or do we just ask them to work on their own, or fund their projects by themselves? That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you for putting me. This is a great question, a very important question. So in the toolkit, I'll answer from what it says in the toolkit. So in the toolkit, there are different suggestions for funding, and a very basic template for like a budget, how to work out a budget. And I think it's important that we don't get stuck when there isn't funding available. So it may be something as simple as looking how many people you need to help, and maybe if you want to plant a tree, understanding where you can get this tree from. So we don't want to block our mentees by saying, oh, there's no money, so you have a nice plan, but now we're stuck. That's definitely, we want to avoid that. We want to encourage creative thinking around funding and doing what we can with what we have. This is a very African approach, which I love. We do what we can with what we have, and that doesn't stop us if there's no money. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, perhaps Klaus or someone else from the team can explain a bit better what is available with regards to support for certain projects. Can I pass that to you, Klaus, or would you like to answer it at a later stage?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, you can pass it. Yeah. So also what's available in terms of support is also, as we continue with this journey, mentoring our mentees and some great ideas come, it's good to share them, like what you did today in the WhatsApp group, and then maybe perhaps through our networks. And this could be also a project that is going on in other partner countries. You know, they are able to access funding. Then, you know, that is one way. But another way is within the project, we have at least each cycle will be not to say will be awarding, but then there is some sort of like support that will come. Totals 200 euros for like winning teams. So some of those teams, they can already access support from within the project. But then as I wouldn't go far from what you said, Kate, we shouldn't limit what they can do. We should really look around and see what resources are available that they can access. But then the team overall, like all the partners, we are constantly looking for opportunities to access and tap into these funding opportunities that might be there or might be available for us to utilize. So I think that's what there is at the moment in terms of understanding and preparation. So there is like 200 euros for at least 4 winning teams for each cohort. But as of now, if there is more support, financial support that's needed to support the projects, then we are very much open into looking to what opportunities are available for us to do that. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you, Klaus. So I think what's important is that as a mentor, we guide our mentees to know how to prepare a simple and sensitive budget so that we can apply for funding and that we can also be transparent with our costs. And there is a template. Maybe I'll share my screen and I'll show you the template that is there. Just a moment to share. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm just scrolling down and finding which page it's. There's the template. I can zoom out of it. There's the template for the action planning, which you can print or copy or project. This is the first phase of the action planning, which I saw in the photos. I was so happy to see that. And I need to give credit for this to my teacher from Thailand. Her name is Sunisa Jamiset, and she lives at Gaia Ashram. And it was her that first helped me with that flower model. Then there's the deeper dive into planning. So this is a deeper action planning tool where you're really looking at possibilities and boundaries and limitations, which can also be funding. You know, if we don't have budget, it's a big boundary, but we can still work within the limitations of that. So perhaps we can't plant 300 trees, but we could start with 10 if we take cuttings from our neighbors' trees and ask for donations from the local nursery of trees that they no longer want. Or there's always ways to work creatively with finding things and then growing from there. Once we've done a small step and we can show people that we're serious and we've actually done something, it's often easier to get funding on the back of that. So that's also important to mention to your mentees. So here's a template to fill out for your mentees. You can print it or project it, and it follows this model of looking at the observations, the boundaries, and then the resources. So this is a little bit like fundraising. What resources are available to realize this action? And not just money, but also technology and data, what team members, what human I don't like to say human resources, but what team members' skills and creativity have you got access to? And then here we've got a mistake. This should say evaluate. So what resources are available? And there's a budget template, which is in the fundraising section. Okay, and then you decide and you design and you implement your action. Okay, and then there's a measuring tool. So I'm just scrolling through to the fundraising part. I hope I'm in the right place. Implement. Here's an event checklist, which you can also print, which can help with the planning. So here's, if you're organizing a tree planting, you fill out the date, where it's happening, the objective, and it helps you to work better in a team. If you need to promote your event, how you're going to manage invitations and guests, and then programming your event. And here's a whole venue plan, media, and this can really help you create a budget as well. So first you do your event planning, you see what the needs are. And I'm sorry, I'm going to scroll all the way back to the beginning of the toolkit to find the fundraising. There it is. Bear with me. Sorry, I need to go back to the bottom. Okay, it is at the bottom where I expected it. Apologies. Okay, and then my apologies, it comes afterwards. So there's a whole section on advocacy and why it's important to promote our actions and to create movements and to really find decision makers and policy makers and leaders and call for change. And then here on page, what page is this? On page 29, there's the introduction to fundraising. And this is in the toolkit that you will give to your mentees. And here, there's a very simple project budget example, okay? So they give the item, the expense of it, the quantity, the cost per unit, and a total cost. So this one has been filled out as if we were raising funds for a community garden or a school garden in South Africa. Then there's your direct cost total. And then you have some indirect costs here, which are printing and refreshments. And then here there's some additional expenses, like we need a first aid kit and we need to, we might have some unforeseen expenses come up. So there's an example budget. And then here's a budget template. On page 32, there's a printable budget template. So you can really help your mentees working with this template to calculate what they need to fund for cash funding. And perhaps they don't need to fund for cash. Perhaps they're actually looking for donations of seeds, or they're looking for donations of gloves from the local hardware store because they want to do a river cleanup. So we don't always need to budget for cash. Often we can budget for donations that are non-monetary, we call it. So there's that budget there. And I hope that will be helpful. There's a deeper dive for you as the mentor into fundraising. I'm flipping back to the Youth Worker Handbook, which is your guiding book as a mentor. And if I'm not mistaken, there's an entire module on fundraising. Sorry, let me scroll to the contents page. Thank you all for your patience.
And when you get there, Kate, if you're able to click, then it should take you straight to the now page.
In the index page?
Yeah, if you click on it, it just takes you directly there.
Okay, then I just need to scroll up to the index page each time. Thank you. So here's thank you, Klaus. My digital dynamics are yet still being developed and under work in progress. So there's a whole session here, which is a deeper dive that you don't need your mentees to go into if they're not interested in, but it's maybe interesting for you as the mentor to do some reading and some research on what it is to fundraise for advocacy and climate justice projects. There's a part about what is the difference between a crowdfunding campaign and funding through an organization. So I encourage you to read this. I'm not going to bore everyone by reading through it now, but I really encourage you to read this and have an idea yourself of what it means so that you can guide your mentees into the process. I hope that answers the question deeply. So I'm going to open the floor for other questions, or maybe if there's any follow-up questions to that. You're also welcome to type questions in the chat if you're not able to use your microphone. Please feel free to do that. So perhaps I want to pose a question to the group then. Are you all feeling comfortable to use these two toolkits? Is it clear how they operate, how the toolkits work, and how they support each other, and how one, the Youth Worker Handbook, is designed to support you as a mentor, and how then the toolkit for youth is for you to hand out to your participants if it's useful, or to use the templates and printables or projections. I just want to check, maybe you could do a raising of your hand if it's a yes, like a thumbs up if it's a yes, and a thumbs down if it's a no. Yay, for Bumi, I see you. I'm not able to see everybody, so I can't see if there's a response.
Let me fix that for you. I gave you a spotlight.
Now I see. Okay, I got a thumbs up from Joseph. Okay, good. So, okay, great. Mercy's driving, but I see her now. Hi, Mercy. Okay, so I guess for me, the next question is to check in with everybody. Now that you've seen this pathway, perhaps I'd like to ask the question about how you are feeling about your first cohort. So you can answer this in the chat, or you can raise your hand and answer speaking out to us. I'd love to hear, how are you feeling? Are you feeling prepared and ready? Are you needing time to familiarize yourselves with this new youth toolkit? How is everybody feeling about their cohorts? Do you have participants? What is it going to look like? What age groups are you working with? Anybody can start.
Or perhaps you can go rounds and pass it on to someone else next.
That's true. Thank you, Klaus. Maybe we'll start with, who shall we start with? I know some of you have just joined the program, but for Bunmi, you've already started. So why don't we start with you, since you are ahead, I think, in that you've in some ways already started with this training that you ran. So how are you feeling? You said you've got 3 groups. What else would you like to share with us?
Okay, I would like to say that we are really excited and prepared. And I think the training we had in December really helped me to understand the program and the project, and the participants too. They actually came up with beautiful ideas. I'm also going to share our reports. And the 3 groups we have, they are working on 3 different projects, and they are really fantastic projects. So I have encouraged them, we encourage them to continue working separately as a group. And then we also have another general WhatsApp group that they can report. But I ask them to hold on until the end of the month, so that when we also meet with other participants, they will have a better understanding. But for now, I think they know what they are doing. And I know a particular group, they are already working out their projects. So for us, we are prepared. The handbook, let me say the report and the training we had really helped us. And we were able to do most of these things that we have in the toolkit already. So we had our trees, they have the flowers, and I can assure you they want to start working. I'm just calming them down. So for us, we are ready. Thank you. And
Okay, that's wonderful. I'm really, really happy to hear that. And sounds like a really positive start. So maybe I can pass the floor to Ian. Would you like to share how you are around your first cohort? How's planning going in Zimbabwe? Or maybe someone else from Zimbabwe wants to share. Agatha or Ian, how's things going for you guys?
Agatha left something on the chat. Maybe I can read it. She's saying, personally, I feel empowered and ready to start the first cohort. It is something that I've always been looking forward to as I unpack what I have learned so far. I'm very happy to leave footprints behind that. Behind that will bring about positive change. That's what Agatha is telling us all. With regards to your question, Kate. Back to you.
Thank you, Klaus, for reading that. And thank you, Agatha, for that input. This is wonderful. It's really, really good news. I'm also seeing, thank you. I've just seen your post, Klaus.
Okay, so I wanted to say I'm so very happy and I feel ready for the first cohort, because after the workshop that we had in Pretoria, I feel that this is the time to show what we have learned And because me and Ian as the mentors, we are actually putting the plan into action so that we start unpicking what we have to the mentees and we see the progress that we have done so far. And working with the toolkit that we have and more things that we are getting from other fellow mentors, I think we are going to have something tangible and something that will show that we need to bring about positive change concerning the climate change and the climate justice that we need to put footprints on us. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Agatha. That's super exciting. And I'm looking forward to seeing the feedback from the first cohorts. Can we hear from someone from Malawi? I think we might have some connection challenges.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Go ahead.
for me, all right. As for me, I'm really happy to have the first cohort and with my mentees, with what I learned, what I acquired from the Pretoria, the training that we had, and we are ready to change our communities and also to bring in new ideas on how we can deal with the issues that we face concerning climate change. Yeah, so we are really ready to bring huge impact in our country, in Malawi.
Thank you, Bridget. This is good. I'm happy to hear that. Can we hear from someone in Mozambique? I know that you are facing some enormous challenges, and I wonder if you have had a chance to connect with each other. And I wonder if there's some way that we outside of Mozambique can support you in any way. If there's something that the rest of us can support you with while you are going through challenging times. I think communication is affected, and I believe you have some where you're not allowed to leave the house after a certain time. So maybe you want to share with us how things are. If it's sensitive, you don't need to, but I'd love to see how you're feeling and whether there's other ideas, understanding the circumstances are changing for you and the situation is difficult right now. Yeah. So just checking whether Bella or Mel, whether you can hear us and are able to give us some feedback. Okay, it seems we have some challenges here with the connection. Oh, here's Melanie.
There is a question from Bella. She's saying she didn't hear the question. Maybe if you can quickly repeat what you were asking her, and then maybe she's able to speak.
Thank you, Klaus. So I was just asking, with considering the very challenging situation at the moment in Mozambique, whether there is something that we can do or the rest of the mentors can do to support you, or whether you've had a chance to think about maybe doing more work online, or I think connectivity is even affected. But if you'd like to share anything around the challenges you're facing and any possible ideas to be able to move forward despite the conditions.
Now I got the question. So, right now we are just trying to adapt ourselves and working. We had, for example, since start the new year, we went to the office. I think last time was week before, because this week we could not go outside because of all the situations, and we try to communicate like every day. We are working through WhatsApp and also finding ways to get more progress. Right now, we had a problem because our recruitment phase was also efficient, and we just have 40 participants, and we are trying ways to get more participants, like in social media campaigns. We were about going to schools to recruit more participants, but now it's not possible because the schools had not started yet. So we're still waiting, and also with some organizations that are going to work with us. Last time, I think it was last month. We met another organization and we had a very productive conversation. So they showed interest in working and enjoying in the LiveX project, but we're still finding ways because of this situation, and also hope that next days everything going get better. Thank you.
Thank you, Bella. Thank you for sharing. I think just keep everyone updated, and if you can and when you can in the group. And obviously, the first point is to have families and everybody safe. And we're also all hoping that things are going to get easier and better. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Okay, so maybe we can hear from the guys from Togo.
Hi, Kate. It seems the guys from Togo are mainly using their chat room, so you can check the messages that they've just sent.
In the chat. Thank you, Agatha. My computer is quite slow. So our leader is saying for us, the challenge and concern is the translation of the handbook, so as to explain well the aims of the project to all our mentees. Okay. Yes, this will allow them to be better involved in the activities that will be implemented, of course. So Klaus has responded saying that we're working on the translated versions in Portuguese, French, and Swahili. So this is very good news. And hopefully those will come as soon as possible so that we can progress. I'm not sure if you have a date on that, Klaus. I think you were looking for some support and volunteers. Would you like to say anything about that?
Yes, so at the moment we are coordinating with coordinators. So these are the coordinators of the project that everyone is working with in their own countries to see whether there are any volunteers who are willing to offer the translation version. But ultimately, we are going to have a translated version in those 3 languages, because those are the main language apart from English that people are using who are also partners. So we are looking at maybe by the end of January, if not possible, I would say we can give ourselves until February, mid-February, then maybe we would by then have a translated version of all the handbooks.
Thank you, Klaus. So it seems like perhaps the French one is the top priority for the guys from Togo, as they're the ones that are commenting mostly on it. So that's very good feedback to receive. Thank you.
Yeah, and maybe to add on that, also to complement on what Katya is saying on the chat, on the 28th, when we're going to do our launch in both French and Portuguese, we are now working on tools to actually support translations during the session. So feel free to join in and invite everyone to join, regardless of their proficiency in English speaking proficiency, because then they are able to understand and follow, simply because we are going to have translations, subtitles available for these languages.
Thank you so much, Klaus. Okay, so could we hear from the South African mentors? I think Mpho was not able to join. She sent apologies, but Joseph, are you able to let us know how you're feeling, if you're understanding how the toolkit and handbook are working together, any questions you may have?
Yeah, for me, I'm excited for the launch. Don't really have any questions about the handbook. I think it's gonna be better when I see it physically, then I can make my assessment once I have the physical copies. Yeah, but besides that, nothing else. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So I think, Klaus, did you email the handbook and the toolkit to everybody? I saw that email. I'm very sure that you did.
Yes, I did email the handbooks to everyone. I emailed 2 versions in case it's confusing to everyone. So one version is the colored version, and the second version is the version you can print. You save so much ink and so much ink if you print the grayscale version than if you print in black and white for the colored version. So just so you know, that's why I emailed you the 2 versions.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Klaus.
I was saying I got the email, but I'm just waiting for them to be printed.
Okay, that's super exciting. I also want to see one printed. Joseph, let us know how it feels and looks when you get it. I've only seen the digital version. So that's exciting. Okay, and then just checking in, we've got two more countries to check in on, Nigeria and Tanzania. Oh no, Kenya, apologies, Kenya and Tanzania. So let's hear from Tanzania. How are you feeling for your first cohort? Toolkits, I think it's your first meeting today, so let us know.
Hello. Yeah, thank you for those who joined later. My name is Abdal again. Yeah, sorry because I left it promptly because of the electricity. Then I had to shift it to my neighbor. So, but also I'm sorry I cannot switch on my camera. But I think I'm audible enough. Yeah, in terms of a toolkit, yeah, thank you, Klaus and the team. Yeah, it's a well equipped, I can say that, and I think it will help us to dive deep when they're taking through the team that have shown interest to join this LiveX. I'm talking about Tanzania team and the rest of the Africa, the globe. In terms of, I don't have question so far, but I'll be very much helpful to help translating into Swahili as well. I know it will help mostly Tanzanians and a very few Kenyan as well, our neighbors. But also I know we are normally using Swahili and the English interchangeably, so I think it will help us to master it so well. And in terms of the cohort, yes, so we have the 2 cohorts, and our project manager has done his work so well. Now we have them, and we are in the WhatsApp groups. Now we see some chats are going on and the final preparations. And I hope for this 28th, I think you're going to have some meeting with them. So far, so good. We are good to go, and everything is well arranged, and we have our energy already stored for that. So we are so happy for that. Thank you. Shout out to Janet and the guidance of Nicholas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abdi. This was great. Welcome. And we're excited to see what comes out of Tanzania. And then lastly, just to check in with Kenya. I saw Mercy was driving. I'm not sure if she's able to share with us, but are you able? Nice, Mercy. So how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I think I'll echo what Adrian said. The toolkit and they look very good. And I like how they've gone into details. They're quite a good guide, and I can't wait to use it. I think it's going to be quite useful. For us, we're still having a huge challenge with getting participants because we're getting people who will be like, yeah, it sounds interesting, but then getting them to actually sign up and commit to it is becoming a challenge. But since schools are back open now, we're doing our last minute recruitment. So that's the biggest stress that we have now regarding that. So we're pushing for us to be able to have some meetings to make. So hopefully those meetings will be fruitful. We're going to solid participants. We're going to take part in the project. However, an exciting thing is we've actually applied for the first one is with the Portuguese embassy. And we got into the second stage of the application because we've applied for an action within LiveX. So we have a meeting with them next week. And if that goes well, it means we're going to get funding for our project. And that would be very exciting to implement. So cross your fingers for us that we get that. Yeah, that's our update. Nice to see everyone again for such a long time.
Thank you, Mercy. And yeah, that's very exciting about having applied for funding already. And I think I just want to say I really understand the challenge of getting people to join these kinds of programs and commit. It's more and more we are under a lot of strain and pressure and busy lives. And I think in general, those of us that are working in volunteering or working with volunteers, we see that it's actually a big privilege to be able to offer our time in a volunteering way. And where there's no funding guaranteed, it's quite difficult to attract people in this capitalist pressurized system that we're under, where we're all needing to earn our living and earn our keep. It becomes more and more difficult. Even here in South Africa, I find that people don't want to attend a training unless they receive a stipend. So because they know that participating in a training is their time and their money, and it can be very, very challenging. So I love that you mentioned that schools are back in the Global South. Anyway, at least for South Africa as well, schools just went back. And so there's opportunity perhaps there to find young and excited climate activists and scholars that are engaging with this kind of subject matter. And I think I also want to say that no action is too small. I think it's really important that we also remember that any small act, this is what is so valuable about this project. When we can report on all our micro actions, if we want to call them micro, you will see the wave of what happens in the world thanks to all of our participation. And so even if you have 2 mentees to start with, this is a good start. It's better than nothing, and it can have a ripple effect. We never know what that one person's difference is going to make in the world and on the landscape and in our ecosystems. So thank you all again for working so hard on this. I want to ask if there's any more questions, and then I've got a short video clip I'd like to show. I'm not going to go into the toolkit any further. I was going to show you the contents page and go into the subject matter, but I'm trusting that you've all received the email and you've had a chance to look at it. I think questions may arise after the first cohort, and we're going to have another meeting and another chance to feedback on the materials. I'm so happy to see some of you filled in the Mentimeter. I'm going to share the link again here in the chat. So I just made a couple of questions, and I saw a lot of you filled out that you're excited about the project, you're looking forward to it. And if any of you are feeling nervous, and I said someone was not so confident yet, that's okay. It's fine. It's the first time we're doing it. We're going to learn from it. We're going to be out of our comfort zones, and we're going to give feedback again after the first cohort. Myself, Jada, and Dorcas, who is the other local trainer, and Jada is the advocacy expert from Italy. We will give feedback, and we can give more advice, and we can support each other. Possibly, I think actually there'll be more feedback to give from and learnings from everyone's experiences. So don't worry that it's not perfect. We're just all going to do our best. So I've shared the link to the Mentimeter, which is a little quiz, just 3 questions that I'd love to have everyone fill out if you're able to access. It's there in the chat. You can fill it in now, or you can fill it in after the meeting. And then if there's no further questions, I'm going to share a little video that I find very inspiring. So I'll open for 2 minutes if there's any other questions. Okay, in which case I will share my screen. Are you not able? Apologies. Are you not able to hear it?
Yes, I think upon sharing, or you would want to stop sharing and then share again. Upon sharing, allow the option to share with audio, and that should
include sound. I see it.
Yeah, include sound. Yeah,
include sound. And I should probably mute my microphone.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Because then if you want to speak over it, we are able to hear you.
Okay, great. So this is just a little inspiring clip that I wanted to share. And here it is. Wangari Maathai was an incredible tree planting activist.
We are constantly being bombarded by problems that we face, and sometimes we can get completely overwhelmed. The story of the hummingbird is about this huge forest being consumed by a fire. All the animals in the forest come out, and they are transfixed as they watch the forest burning, and they feel very overwhelmed, very powerless, except this little hummingbird. It says, I'm going to do something about the fire. So it flies to the nearest stream, takes a drop of water, and puts it on the fire, and goes up and down, up and down, up and down, as fast as it can. In the meantime, all the other animals, much bigger animals, like the elephant with a big trunk, could bring much more water. They are standing there helpless, and they are saying to the hummingbird, what do you think you can do? You're too little. This fire is too big. Your wings are too little. And you're big, so small, you can only bring a small drop of water. at a time. But as they continue to discourage it, it turns to them without wasting any time and tells them, I am doing the best I can. And that to me is what all of us should do. We should always feel like a hummingbird. I may feel insignificant, but I certainly don't want to be like the animals watching as the planet goes down the drain. I will be a hummingbird. I will do the best I can.
Okay, everyone. So on that note of doing the best we can, I'm going to bring this session to a close. I think it's important to remember we're all on that WhatsApp group. So if there's questions that arise after this session, or if you weren't able to speak for connection issues, or if you're watching the recording of this and you weren't able to join the actual meeting, you can ask questions in the WhatsApp group. I can try to answer, or if Klaus is more equipped to answer, he can answer too. And I'm really looking forward to these first cohorts, to the big launch. This is such an exciting project to be part of. And I think we need to remember that, yeah, we're a swarm of hummingbirds in a very big, beautiful continent of Africa. And yeah, I think the beauty of being able to meet like this from all these different places on this beautiful continent, and also in Europe, sorry, I'm looking at Julieta and Katja, you know, to come together like this in this way, it's an incredible opportunity. And I know myself, I sometimes feel quite isolated down here on the southernmost part somewhere. And I forget that there's so many of us little hummingbirds doing our part for nature, teaching each other, having the conversations, planting the seeds in people's hearts and minds and in the landscape. And yeah, just want to give thanks to you all. Look forward to hearing. Maybe we can all write one word in the chat about how we are feeling moving forward, or you're welcome to also just say your word out loud if you're not accessing the chat. My chat seems to be very slow to update. So you can also just say your word out loud. I'm feeling deeply grateful.
Inspired.
Okay, I've got an inspired, a motivated, unexcited, a motivated, another inspired. Kate, can you share the video on WhatsApp? Yes, I can. I'll share the link. It's on YouTube. Okay, everybody. So I'll just, is there anything else, Klaus, that you'd like to say regarding next meetings, or perhaps Katja or Julieta from your side? Is there anything else you'd like to share last minute before we close the call?
From my end, nothing much, just a massive thank you as we wrap up this session. I want to thank everyone who have taken their time to join, but also input and all the energy everyone has shown on here, as much as the commitment. I understand it was not easy. Some people were on the move, some were probably not having electricity, so they had to take the call from like our neighbors and all that. So I really, really appreciate all the efforts to join the call. And this is the kind of energy we need to inspire also to our mentees. And I'm very excited to see how we continue to grow and succeed together as we move along onto making this project a reality. So let's carry forward the momentum from today. And otherwise, have a great rest of your day, everyone. And I look forward to our next steps.
Thank you, Klaus.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Did we
The screenshot.
Oh,
No,
yes. Yeah, Julieta had asked if we can take a group photo. I think this would be very important for our social medias, right? So
Yes.
if we can briefly all try to, to put our cameras on, and then we can all
But
smile.
Klaus, can you make the screenshot? Because in this computer, I have a different one. I don't know how to take it. Thank you.
Okay, I might also take a few screenshots so that everyone is on the call here. Beautiful.
Okay, let's share a smile.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I've done the first one.
Okay, another one.
I'm going to do this second one soon. I'll let you know. I just need to share this. And I am going to do the second one now. You can all put your favorite smiles. Perfect. There. So I hope we all share the ones that will look really nice. Otherwise, that will be it for me. Back to you, Julieta and Kate.
I just want to say good luck with the launch and see you all soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
everyone.
Bye.